I'm happy to be here, and I'm very glad that I can open WORLD.MINDS 2017, because indeed it's becoming more and more important also for a country like Switzerland. I'm really especially amused that I see such a lot of women, because this year we had in politics roughly 16 or 17 women all over the world being president. So you're privileged, and I hope also in politics we'll see more women in their presidential positions. We have for a couple of hours that you can exchange. I have to go back to Bern because tomorrow I will have to run the cabinet meeting. But anyhow, I will get a lot of information what happens here and what you discuss here, and get inspired also by your new ideas. And inspiration is probably those what we need in politics most. You know, Einstein, he once said, I never think of the future, it comes soon enough. And, you know, in politics, you can't go ahead and decide what might governments do in the future when you don't care about the future, when you don't know the challenges, and when you don't have any answer to all these challenges. And for the moment, I think there's quite a lot to do, and here we need the help from research, we need the help from business people, and we need in the public administration also a lot of qualified people who are in contact with you and who know about possible answers. For the moment, you know, all over the world, we have one of the biggest challenges. This remains climate change. We had the Paris Agreement, which was a wonderful, a very important agreement, because it was the most important multilateral agreement for many, many years. But now actually begins the difficult part. The negotiations are not ended up, and we need a lot of answers which give us not only technological solutions, but also the implementation in national law. And this needs a lot of development on resource efficiency in general, but also on how we can all over the world replace fossil energy in the shortest time possible to minimize CO2 emissions. And you know, in politics, yes, sometimes, Mr. Dobelli, it's about costs, it's about money. And in this respect, we know also for business people, it's about money. And here we need solutions which try to help us to find the technological solutions, but hopefully without the same costs of fossil energy. And a lot of solutions are in universities, but we need more. We need it quick, and we need it on a commercial base. Here, you are those who probably can help us. Second field, which seems to me very important, is the health sector. We know all over the world we have more people, we have a lot of diseases, chronic diseases, which cause a lot of costs. We still have, in parts of the world, access to healthcare is not guaranteed. We still have also a huge mortality of children. And here also technical solutions from researchers are the key, but also here costs are decisive. When we want to introduce a lot of new medical treatments in Switzerland, probably we can afford that, but when you go to a lot of countries in the African continent, in South Asia, costs play a role. And here also this is a requirement for you to give us solutions which also are not at the same time cost intense, otherwise politicians will not introduce this in national solutions. You know, in Switzerland, research is for us very important because we have not a lot of natural resources, so we are very aware of our position worldwide, that we remain an innovative, probably the most innovative country of the world, that we have to steadily invest in research on all different steps of our education system. So it's not only for ETH Zurich and ETH Lausanne and the universities, also the universities of applied research research, and also the vocational training plays here a very important role. And we invest a lot of money. From 2017 to 2020, we go on a sum of more than 26 billion Swiss francs. And on top of that, I must also thank the private sector, which invests 3 times more in research and education, made be in-house or together as a partner of our universities. Without that, Switzerland would not stay on top level. But on the same time, I have also a wish. With all this money, you must also look where you invest all this money. In Switzerland, we don't intervene in the academic freedom. It's up to the universities to really find the adequate sources and the adequate labs or projects to support with government money. And here, we must also look that the universities have also the courage not to do the same things they did 30 years ago, so also to focus on new things and invest where really we need answers for the planet, where we need answers for human mankind. And here I ask also the managing persons from the universities to really be courageous and invest where we need solutions. The portfolios will be more and more important because every year additional money is not always possible. What I learned also during the presidential year is a world where we are all privileged and which also has the right to look for a perspective. For example, in July, I visited Benin. It's a country, democratic country, quite stable. They have economic growth, 2 to 4%. But the average of the population, 50%, is under 15 years old. Under 15 years old, 50%. Most of them have no access to school. Well, we are very privileged. I could open a Swiss school, so for about 100 children, they have now a school. They can go there without a lot of books, but they have access to a basic education. So we have still a lot of countries where they are waiting for access to basic education. We must be aware of that. Another example, which might also be part of your reflections, you know, we had for many, many years the classical development cooperation. And we began together with the World Economic Forum 2 years ago, a project, Internet for All, with the president of Rwanda, because we tried what would be the effect if we introduce free Wi-Fi. And after 2 years, we can say the effect is dramatically positive, because with free Wi-Fi, we could reach a lot of people. Normally, they have no access to education and information at all. Now, with free Wi-Fi, they can open their small business. With free Wi-Fi, they can interact with their relatives all over the world. They can use the phone like a little bank, etc. So the effect was, with a little amount of money, better than 20 years of classical instruments for development cooperation. And this might be also solutions for those countries who are not in such a privileged position like I am and you are. And as politicians, we care about our national interests. I want to be proud of Switzerland, which is in all rankings among the 5 or 10 best countries of the world. But we never have to forget, it's not correct when only the elites of the globe have a better world, can have also all the profitable, nice things from internet, and still a huge amount of people have no basic services at all. In politics, it's sometimes complicated because also in Switzerland, the government should be responsible for everything. 5G is a good example. Everybody would like to have a high-speed internet and high capacities, which is an important infrastructure. But at the same time, when we plan to install a new antenna, you know, the resistance of a lot of people say, okay, yes, but not in my backyard. And that's also a lot of contradictions we have. We have other, well, I think, important elements which politicians have to live with, contradictions. I remember perhaps also the Gotthard Tunnel, the longest tunnel of the world. Everybody wanted to have this nice infrastructure with high-speed trains, but at the same time, the noise reduction is very sensitive. So also here, a lot of people would like to speed up in their mobility, but please, without noise. Access to all this nice infrastructure should be available at all times, but please, without costs for me. So these are contradictions. We have to live it. But at the same time, I think it's possible when we interact between business people, research, science, and politicians. We might find solutions to think, okay, the wish of the client, that he's the king. We can do it also perhaps at lower costs with smart solutions, with intelligent solutions. That's why I'm interested that you not only interact this day among you, but please tell us what is possible. Give us also some real answers where we can not only have patents or nice projects, we really need then commercializable products. We really need also new companies, startups, which can help us to deliver social, environmental friendly and economic friendly solutions, not only for Switzerland, but for the planet. So my hopes are high, as yours are. Thank you very much to interact.